haunted sprawl of Kano, where the wind wailed like spirits trapped in the earth, and the moon shrank behind curtains of ash-gray clouds, lived Alhaji Musa, a revered figure in the Sabon Gari quarter. To the townsfolk, he was a pastor, his turban a symbol of sanctity, his voice a thunder of salvation rolling through the makeshift church. But the flickering shadows of his compound concealed a sinister truth. Musa was no holy man. He was a Baba Lawo, a dibia whose juju fed on the blood of the damned, his wealth carved from the souls he'd offered to the dark. His only daughter, Amina, was his untainted light, a beauty with almond eyes that shimmered like twilight, a laugh that rippled through the Harmattan dust, and a heart pure as the first rain. She knew her father as a man of God, blind to the calabashes and crimson feathers hidden in his shrine. Across the cracked alleys prowled Sule, a Yahoo boy with a jackal's grin and a tongue laced with venom. His scams sucked dollars from Oyinbo widows, his nights spent weaving lies in the glow of cybercafe screens. Orphaned and forged in the streets, Sule craved invincibility, wealth to bury his past, power to defy his enemies. He'd heard whispers of a pastor who doubled as a dibia, a man who could weave protection stronger than steel. "I need jazz," Sule muttered to his crew, eyes glinting with hunger. "Something to make me untouchable." His heart was a void, but fate was about to fill it with a girl he'd never meant to claim. Unbeknownst to Sule, the path to Musa's juju would twist through a darkness deeper than the Kano night, where the air buzzed with unseen malice. Sule sought Musa under a sky black as coal, his bends rumbling into the compound like a beast on the prowl. "Pastor," he said, his voice slick as oil, "I hear you get power. I need protection. Something Wago make me feared." Musa eyed the boy, his pastor's smile masking a flicker of disdain. Yahoo boys were vermin, but their money was green. "My son," he rasped, his tone a velvet blade. "You want safety, Abby? I go give you blessing." He led Sule to a back room, its air thick with the stench of iron and decay, where owls hooted from unseen perches. Musa slit a black rooster's throat, its blood splashing into a clay bowl, his chants curling like smoke in a tongue older than Hausa. He dipped a white handkerchief into the gore, its edges yellowing with a strange chill. "Take this," he whispered, pressing it into Sule's palm. "Use him well. Any enemy, any soul, go bend to your will. No harm go touch you." Sule smirked, pocketing the cloth, its weight pulsing faintly against his skin. He thought it a trinket, a pastor's toy. He didn't know it was juju, forged with blood to strip a victim's soul and bind it to the bearer's power. Musa saw it as a transaction, unaware the boy's next move would shatter his world. That same night, Sule's eyes fell on Amina in the market, her wrapper swaying as she haggled over yams. Her beauty struck him, not as love but as prey. "This one goes sweet, my jazz," he muttered, his grin sharp. He didn't know her name, didn't know she was Musa's daughter, just a girl whose purity could fuel his rise. He marked her, a stranger in his web, her fate sealed by a handkerchief he barely understood. The night was a shroud of mist when Sule lured Amina to a crumbling shed by the river. "I get something for you," he cooed, his voice a trap. Amina, trusting and curious, followed, her white hijab glowing like a moth in the gloom. Sule drew the handkerchief, its chill biting his fingers, and pressed it to her face. "Sleep," he hissed, as her almond eyes widened, her laugh choking into silence. The juju sank deep, her body slumping soulless, her spirit tethered to his will. But Sule's greed twisted further. He wanted more than her soul. He drew a knife, slashing her throat, her blood soaking the earth. "Your life go make me king," he growled, severing her head with a sickening crunch. He wrapped it in the handkerchief, her hijab dripping crimson, and left her body by the riverbank. Her hijab dripping crimson, and left her body by the riverbank. Sule's power surged. The juju made him untouchable. Bullets grazed past, rivals cowered, his scams tripled overnight. He strutted through Kano, gold chains glinting, his bends a shadow of menace. But the shed haunted him, an eerie laugh echoed in the wind. A chill crept up his spine. He ignored it, drunk on his rise, clutching the head in a sack as a trophy for his next step. He returned to Musa days later, his swagger bolder. "Pastor," he said, tossing coins, "your jazz day work. I need more. Make me stronger." He dropped the sack at Musa's feet, its contents thudding dully. "Use this head. Finish the work." Musa nodded, his shrine ready, until he untied the sack. Amina's lifeless head rolled out, her almond eyes dull, her hijab soaked in blood, the handkerchief still wrapped around her neck. Musa's screams split the night, a wail that rattled the trees. "Amina! My Amina!" he howled, collapsing over her, his turban falling into the dust. The air grew cold, owls shrieking, as Musa's world crumbled. Sule froze, his grin fading. He hadn't known. This was the pastor's daughter. "Who you kill?" Musa roared, his eyes blazing with tears and rage. Sule stammered, "I no, she just be girl." But the truth sank in. His protection had come at the cost of Musa's only child. Musa's shrine became a crypt of grief. He cradled Amina's head, her blood staining his hands. His pastor's mask dissolved in anguished sobs. "My daughter," he wept, the handkerchief's yellow stain mocking him from her lips. He'd given Sule the juju, and Sule had used it to slaughter his light. The town erupted in scandal. Pastor Musa's daughter beheaded, her head found in his shrine. Whispers turned to curses. "He's no pastor. He's a devil." But Musa's ears were deaf to their cries. His sorrow birthed a vengeance darker than the night. He couldn't undo the handkerchief's charm. No dibia could harm its bearer, for the juju was tied to his own bloodline. But Musa had one final right. Under a sky black as death, he lit a fire in his shrine, its flames licking the air with a sickly green glow. He slit his wrists, his blood dripping into a calabash beside Amina's head. "Take my life," he chanted, his voice a rasp of doom, "and curse him with hers." The ground quaked, the wind screamed her name, Amina, Amina, as his spirit fused with hers. Musa fell, his eyes rolling back, dead by his own hand, the shrine pulsing with an unearthly light. A ghostly laugh echoed, sharp and mournful, as the curse took root. Sule felt it 3 days later. A girl he'd kissed in Sabon Gari dropped dead, her lips black, her body cold. Another, a traitor's wife, withered after a night with him. 3 days, always 3 days. Terror clawed at him as the pattern emerged. Every woman he touched died, her soul claimed by an unseen force. The handkerchief fused to his hand, its chill a burn, pulsing like a heartbeat against his skin. Sule's life became a nightmare. He sent money to his crew, Naira, to lift them from the streets. 3 days later, they lay dead, their mouths stuffed with his cash, eyes staring blankly. He built a mansion in Lagos, its glass walls a glittering tomb, and hired a family to tend it. 3 days after eating his food, they were corpses, slumped over his marble floors. "This money na plague," he screamed, hurling wads into the night. But his scams kept pouring wealth. Dollars, naira, a flood of death he couldn't escape. Every note was poison, every touch a grave. The handkerchief haunted him. Amina's laugh rang in his ears. Her almond eyes glinted in every shadow. He saw her in Lagos traffic, a white figure by his gate, her hijab dripping blood, her severed head floating beside her. "You used me," her voice whispered, carried by the wind. Sleep fled him. Her ghost brushed his chest in dreams, her touch icy as the river. He saw dibias, their shrines trembling at her presence. "This not blood curse," one croaked, fleeing, "her spirit and her father's. They bind you. No cure." In Kano, Musa's death fueled the tale. His shrine glowed at night, travelers swearing they saw him and Amina standing there. Him in a blood-stained turban, her holding her head, its eyes blinking slowly. Owls perched on the compound's walls, their ember eyes singing dirges in the dark. The town turned it to folklore. Yahoo boy versus Baba Lawo, see how dem curse each other. Mothers warned, "Don't let dem use you."